Let's get to the kids and we try to find.
He's from New Zealand.
New Zealand, sorry. Yeah, so very
Do you know what business you're like?
events.
Probably home service, like roofing, festival.
This shirt was what I was
But I'm not.
Hey, I'm a coach, so.
All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
I'm sorry, baby.
Gonna get things started.
You want to sit here? And I'll sit next to you.
I'll remind you guys, the QR code behind me is the key to everything. Well, maybe not everything, but actually I realize now it's got to be updated. The pitch contest was last night, so I can take that off of there. But if you can use that QR code, please, it'll take you to one of those Linktree type pages where there's lots of things for you to do. The two most important things, honestly, are just to check into 1 Million Cups and to check into Launch Fayette. We do have a lot of new faces in the room. I am going to tell you before I think you do this, this is not typical networking, so you're not going to stand up and introduce yourself, but just to see a show of hands, can we see all the people who are here for their first time? 3 new faces, so welcome to our community. Thank you. So for your sake, and as a reminder to everybody else in the room, 1 Million Cups is an organization that was started by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City. And we are, I believe, one of 111 communities across the country that meet every Wednesday morning. And our mission is to caffeinate entrepreneurs every Wednesday. And that is why we have coffee and beignets provided by Beignets and Brew. So please, if you're in the Avenue, stop over there and tell them thank you. They're beignets, like when they come out of the fryer, there's literally nothing like it.
Yeah, it's a moment.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. But grateful that they, send a box over here, and thank you to Ron for picking it up every Wednesday. All right, so you'll see, for the new people, you'll see the format is basically we have a presenter who shares their idea or their business with us, and we as a community give them feedback. I said this earlier, I'll say it again, that we can never see the spot that we're standing on as clearly as other people can. So if you're willing to be vulnerable and open to feedback, this is really the place for you. So if you're new and you have something that you'd like to share, if you're a veteran here and you have something that you want feedback on, just go to the website when you check in. There's a button up there in the navigation to present. The process is super easy. I froze the screen so that you could all get to the QR code, but let me go through my slides here. I bet I'm on the wrong. Yep. Switch to picture in picture. See all this technology. It's fancy sometimes. There we go. All right, so announcement. We are not going to meet next Wednesday. I will be in town, but I kind of assume that a lot of people are going to head out of town for the holidays. And with all the kids being off from school, I just know how much harder that's going to make it for me. So we decided to take a break. So I don't even know, honestly, if this building is going to be open next week. You are. Thank you, Nini. So you're welcome to come and hang out with Nini, but I won't be here. All right, but Launch Fayette, I asked you to please check into Launch Fayette, and the reason I need you to do that is because that is the space that you're in, and there are multiple stakeholders that make sure that the lights stay on, the doors are open, and we need to show them that it's being used, and those check-ins do exactly that. And Steve knows the numbers off the back of his hand. He's not here this morning. He's actually on a panel up in at UGA. I don't know what he's doing up there, but he's talking about this up there on a panel in front of a lot of people. It's going to be really cool. I can't wait to hear about it when he gets back. Anyway, the point is that he has consistently told us that every month we just keep beating the month before. So it's really great that you guys all keep coming back and checking in when you're here. So usually there's a slide after that last one for night market, but the last one passed last Friday. It was an amazing evening. I have to say, for those of you that don't know, that is my event, and it does bring on quite a bit of stress, as you can imagine, with any big event. I play it off. I play it cool.
You really do.
But it's a lot, and I could not do it without the number of volunteers who show up to help. And at the last one, like the night before, we realized we were pretty short on volunteers. And Yanni, who usually comes and sets up this beautiful LED screen, he texts me late at night and he's like, so no LED screen, but I'll be there to help you. And man, that guy is a hustler. He just worked all day long right beside me to get everything done. And I know he's not here for me to say thank you to him face to face, but he knows how much I appreciate him, and I wanted to share that publicly. For those of you that don't know Yanni, his business is Joy Event Rentals. So this big LED screen, tables, balloons, I mean literally anything that you need for an event at any scale.
They've got the only large tent in the area, like the really big tent.
The really big tents, yeah, amazing. So please check them out. So anyway, From Night Market has spawned, thanks to Blue Coal's connection back there, we created what's called Artisans at the Avenue, powered by Night Market. So we're leveraging our Night Market vendors to do a holiday pop-up market indoors in between Positano and Great American Cookie. So if you're looking to shop for this holiday season and you consider shopping local, I invite you to stop by Friday 4 to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, or Sunday 12 to 6. And since I'm actually seeking this, I'm going to extend the offer here. So I think it would be really great to have a gift wrapping station in there, not just for things you buy there, but things that you might want somebody else to wrap for you. I'd love for that to be a fundraiser, but I don't know who to go to. So if you have a booster club or a sports team or something that might be interested in doing that, please talk to me, because I would love for that to be something that they could do. We also have some really beautiful fine art hanging on the walls in there. So even if you don't go and buy any of the gift stuff, come in and look at the art too. It's amazing. Okay, so for those of you that don't already know, what I've opened over at Trilith is a community space, a community room, if you will, called the Nexus. And today, from 12 to 1:30, Tim is leading our weekly AI, what do we call it? I call it Workshare Wednesday. You call it Automations and
Agents and Automations.
Agents and Automations.
Club?
Club.
I like that it's a club.
He gave club
I thought
last
you
week.
said
It's
cult.
actually.
I
was like, I don't know about
Well, I gotta tell you, I mean, every
Just
week
Swithers.
Every week we learn something new about how to use AI to help us in our lives. And I don't just mean in our businesses, it could be anything. So you bring a challenge and Tim figures out a way to help you find a solution. And it's been incredible. So really looking forward to today. The Nexus is membership driven, but for events like these, we really want to bring people into the space and get them to experience the space and the community and events. So if you're interested, you just have to let me know. The only unfortunate part about the Nexus is that you have to be, it's a key card only, and you have to be escorted back. So you've got to just let me know that you're there or that you're coming and that you're there, and then I can come and get you. So if you're thinking about coming today, just let me know. And these, of course, are other events that we have going on throughout the week. My last plug is for so I have Jason Hunter Design, which is my marketing agency. This website, this company that I started called Pixel Partner Digital is sort of the answer to for the people who don't want to go the agency route, but also can't do it themselves, don't want to do it themselves, are too frustrated to try and do it themselves. So it's called a we do it for you, a done for you platform, where you still end up with a custom website and all the support that you need. All right, and that brings us to our presenter today, who I will remind you, Miranda has been a member of the community for quite a while now. And last week, when I said that we had a gap in our schedule, she said, well then, it has to be me, because you can tell the story, because I think it comes better from you, but it was meant to be.
God told me maybe Monday, Tuesday, that I was supposed to come and speak at 1 Million Cups. Okay, perfect. And I was like, God, it's the holidays. They've got a booked schedule. I don't know why you're telling me it's my time to go speak at 1 Million Cups. What are you doing? And I show up last week and he said, hey, we need a speaker for next week. I'm like, it's mine. God's already told me it's mine. So here I am. I'm happy to be here. So in 2021, I stepped into our mold company. And I stepped in January, and by April we were slammed. I had to-do lists everywhere, there was no organization, living in pure chaos. And I finally convinced my husband to let me hire an admin. My first admin, my first time hiring, and I set it all up. I go to Barnes & Noble, because we work from our house, and I do the interviews. And when I get home, both my in-laws are at my house. And my husband's walking around outside, and I noticed that his pants are all cut up. I can see his underwear. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm glad those aren't the new ones I just bought you, to kind of make light of it. And he said, oh, you don't know what happened. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, you were at interviews? I didn't want to bother you, but I just got ran over by my truck. Do what? Why are you here? You need to go to the hospital. Well, I'm not going to the hospital. Long story short, he went to the hospital. I'm sitting in the hospital room, and I call my cousin, the last person on the list to call, and I say, hey, I just want to let you know, Andrew just got ran over. We don't know what's going on. He said, yeah, that happened to my buddy, and he didn't move off the concrete. Like, you're not helping me. I'm by myself, alone in a hospital. They just took my husband, and you're going to tell me how he could die. Thanks. My husband comes back, and he's, on the morphine. He's like, my head was in line with that tire when this car started to move. Like, why you gotta tell me this? I don't want to think about you dying. But it caused me to think about the fact, what would I do if my husband were to die? How do I take care of our 3 children, a business that I can't run? And it's what changed everything. I tend to forget to tell people, my husband is fine, he's right here. He walked away with a broken ankle and a lot of nerve damage. The tire ran over his hips and his ankle. But that day in the hospital, we didn't know how long it was going to take, and I'm texting our clients. Hey, I just want to let you know, Andrew just got ran over. Actually, I didn't say that. I just want to let you know, we have something that came up. Andrew won't be able to be there tomorrow. That's all I told him. 2 days later, before ever even getting a cast on his ankle, he goes and crawls underneath these people's houses because we didn't have any other way to take care of our clients. We didn't have systems, we didn't have processes, we didn't have anything else to do, and we had clients we had to take care of. So, it changed everything. And it made me figure out and wrap my head around, how do I make sure if this ever happens again, that we're going to be okay, that our business is going to be okay, that our children are going to have everything they need to be okay. So I had to figure out how to bulletproof my business. I did so many things, and it comes into this phrase of flame. I figured out systems and processes, go high level. I figured out how to hire, how to make SOPs, how to do all of the things that our business needed that we didn't have. Okay? And so FLAME stands for foundation. This is looking at who are you, what do you want, what does it matter, mission, vision, core values. Leverage, which is that go high level, which is a tool. Systems, using the same process for every single client, so we weren't chasing our tail in the chaos. Trying to figure out, okay, has this client paid? Because we forgot that we did work and clients didn't pay. We've had those days, and I had to figure out how to make sure that from the moment we took the client till the end, no matter what happened, our business was going to thrive. And then the people to run those tools and systems. Don't worry, I'm not an HR person. My friend Sarah over here is though. So I don't do the HR side, but how you can use the people in your business to power those tools and systems. And then you have attraction, which is sales, marketing, and branding. And part of building a business that could survive without us meant that I had to build a name that wasn't just the mold man. Or I'm Miranda and I do mold. Several people in this room know me from what we did with the mold team. But our clients know, oh, you're the girl with the rubber duck. y'all do mold, right? And so it's about creating a reputation where you are top of mind, and no matter what's going on, your clients think back to you, right? How often do you see rubber ducks? How many of my clients are going to think of us because of the work I did to brand ourselves with those rubber ducks? The mindset pyramid, you've got to be ready to grow. You have to have the right mindset, money mindset, the ability to delegate. If your leader doesn't grow, you're going to hit a lid and you can't surpass it, right? And so doing the mindset work matters. And if you put all the things in place, you can live life on your own terms. So I use the words of begin with the end in mind. Where do you want to be in 10 years, 20 years? Right now we have this silver tsunami of these businesses, of these people who are incredibly brilliant, but they haven't put the things in place in their business to make it sellable. And now they're just closing the doors, right? And I do have a passion in buying businesses. I have an investor that's a part of what I'm building. But more than anything, it's about bringing this flame framework that I made into other businesses. Because once I put all these things in place, I built our mold company to $500,000 a year. I had all the things running smoothly. And my husband said, I don't want to grow anymore. What do you mean you don't want to grow anymore? I have all these great ideas for your business and what I want to do with it. But at the end of the day, it was his business. It was his vision. And I built something that far surpassed his wildest imagination. He said, all right, now it's time for you to go help somebody else. I don't know how to do that. Actually, my friend Sarah, my HR friend, told me I needed to be in this room. And here I am today, right? So here's what I know about myself that you may not. I'm a fourth generation entrepreneur. I'm a first generation college graduate with my undergrad in psychology and a master's in business. I was the 2021 Entrepreneur of the Year, NLP certified, international speaker, and now my goal is to go help other businesses. So what I'm looking for are beta clients. The coach from Action Coach told me I should have pricing. And I'm like, I don't know.
Good idea.
I don't know about that yet. But I do have a QR
I didn't
code.
come up with it.
And so Jason was telling me that might be one of the things I need to talk to you guys about my ask. I am convinced that God told me to speak today because something that one of you will tell me when I'm done today will help unlock something to get me to where I need to go next. I believe that God will bring me the right people at the right time and help them in the right ways. And all I have to do is listen to what God's telling me to do. And I wrestled with the idea of putting a price tag on this slide. And ultimately I was like, I don't feel right yet. Maybe someone in this room will help me unlock that. Maybe someone in this room will be a beta client. So what I envision for someone I'm working with, what that would look like. So mold is a home service business. Even yesterday when I was talking to the candidates of who I can help, when they have a product, I don't know anything about that world, right? I found myself not having much to say to give them advice, just was like, hey, remember you're excited, not nervous, right? Because I walked to every candidate and told them that. I do a lot of speaking, and that was one of the things that I learned was if you tell yourself you're excited, you will show up excited. But if you tell yourself you're nervous, you'll come and show up more weak, right? But then the people who had service businesses, I was like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's see what I can tell you that may actually help you, right? So I know it's service businesses. And what's interesting about that is they tend to be excellent at their craft. No one knows mold better than my husband. We can walk around downtown Newton and he can tell you what buildings have mold in them from the outside because of the construction and how they're built. What's interesting is my husband will tell you his skill set is mold. His skill set is not business. And if you can put my brain with his work ethic, you can build something great. And I'm looking for someone who has that work ethic and that talent behind what they do, right? It is a product, but Ashley, from yesterday,
Ashley,
Ashley,
the chocolatier.
she has that passion
Oh, yeah.
for what she's building, what she's creating. And that's what I'm looking for in a beta client, is someone who is just loves what they do, but doesn't really understand how to organize the chaos behind the business. They tend to be overwhelmed by the chaos, and they're successful despite themselves. So I've done a lot of stuff with traction and EOS, and I can be a visionary or an integrator if you understand those words. But a lot of people, when they start traction talks about this whole concept, just successful despite yourself. Because what you are offering to the marketplace is so valuable, people want it, but you're still living in that chaos. And ultimately, all of us as entrepreneurs crave freedom. And then the desire to grow or exit your business is important as well. And then there's my end slide. So super excited to be here, and that's a little bit about my business.
Thank you, Miranda. So, as promised, what can we as a community do for you?
I'm definitely looking for beta clients. And I don't know fully what that looks like yet. But I have a QR code if you're interested in walking that journey with me as we figure this out together. The QR code just takes your name, number, information so we can talk offline. Help on pricing as I navigate what that would look like to not just the beta clients, but how to create my service offer sheet. I've done lots of different things on that and lots of SOPs and written it all out, but how to value that is very different, because the work that I did for the mold team, he made the money. I know what we made. I took it from in 2020 he did 100, in 21 I built it to 300, 23 we were doing $500,000, right? So I understand that piece is what I'm capable of doing. But that's how much he made, not how much I made. So the work that I've already done hasn't had a price tag on it. And I think that's my biggest hurdle, is how to figure out what that looks like. But I'm passionate about doing this work.
Take a step out.
Do it?
Take a step. What
So-
do you think your
Coaching in there.
Absolutely.
But you're making sure there's systems and foundations. I don't think you're the average just coach. I think you like a little bit more nuts and bolts than
Absolutely.
just strategy, right? So can you sort of walk us through what would the time commitment and what would the outcomes look like for 3 months with you?
So I think part of the struggle that I have is it's not a one.
A example business. This is where we started. This is what we did in 3 months. This is what the outcomes were. Like, you could just fictionally make that up until you have beta clients, or you can do it with the mold team to show, like, just sort of this is what we did, and just a fake case study even until you have real wins.
Okay.
Right, just to piggyback on Tanya, it's really about painting the picture of transformation. So you have one business that you've done. Tell us what that looked like. Give us specific minute by minute, like, okay, we didn't know if this client even paid, we were trying to figure it out, we were drowning in paperwork. Really paint us that picture of what that moment, that day looked like for you, and then what it looks like now where you're like, clients just pay us before we do the work. They show up, we have systems in place where they can pay us on our devices when we get there, or we automatically send them an invoice when they're done and they pay. Like, you just paint us the picture of how you can sleep at night now that you know that your clients are paying, right? And your office isn't cluttered in paperwork or whatever, because we have to get really tactical and really, like, you wake up at 3 a.m. right now because you're panicked about paying bills, or someone's sick and you can't work and you're worried about making payroll because you're not going to get a client paying you today. So paint the picture of all those, like, minute-to-minute manifestations of what the chaos looks like, and then what it looks like after. I think that's your selling point. And it doesn't have to be, well, that was just a mold company, because what they're experiencing is what all entrepreneurs experience. It doesn't have to be specific to mold. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think you've got a great thing going here, because I can tell you what I do. I know so many, I work in the coaching world, and a lot of coaches drown in this kind of stuff. They drowning and go high level, right? Like, things like that. So.
Awesome.
I think you have a great presentation, but I'm a little bit confused. For me, everything is about confidence
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur. And I've listened to you in this room week after week with a very bold and confident delivery and personality. But you just sat here in a room full of people and told us that you grew a $100,000 a year business to a $500,000 a year business in a relatively short period of time. But you're like, oh, I don't know how much to charge these people, and I don't know if I can really do it. Like,
Yeah.
come with the same confidence when you're talking about what you do, because whether it's $1,000 a month or $5,000 a month, if you're asking me for $3,000 in 3 months, you know, once upon a time that was mortgage money. So if you're asking me for that kind of money, make me believe that you believe that you're worth $3,000 or $5,000. I personally think what you're saying you can offer is worth more than $3,000 in 3 months. A lot more. They would have to pay me more than that. So I'm just saying, bring that same confidence. Don't bring it for other people and not bring it for yourself. That is what will sell your product, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I walked in late and I didn't see your entire presentation, but from what I saw and what I'm hearing so far, one thing I would recommend is, well, I'm a mindset coach. Sorry with that. What a lot of people, I think, have an issue with when it comes to pricing or confidence, like Chef is talking about, there's this struggle ideal about the value that you provide, and then are your capabilities there to kind of repeat that? A simple way to kind of look at it is you can go off a 10% rule, right? So if your capabilities were to take a company from 100 to 500, what would be 10% of that? And then automatically that's your baseline because it's already been proven. So if you don't have the surety or confidence to say this is my price and then I want to stay on that, because if you don't believe it, you're going to get what you believe. So if the 10% rule can just be your baseline, then start with that. And then as you continue to scale this, you will see that you're able to replicate that process, and then you can go up from there.
Thank you.
Tim?
You mentioned go high level a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your preferred system that you like to work with?
There's a lot in Psycho High Level that I do,
Yeah.
for sure, but it's not the only system that I've used. So I've had a client hire me before just to maximize what he's using inside his CRM, right?
That's a legitimate marketplace
And so-
across a lot of boards. So you asked how we could help from that. Spend some time thinking about how you identify go high level customers.
Okay.
There's a variety of ways and distribution ways where you can say, like, I solved this particular problem for this particular system.
Yeah.
And then layer in your 10% rule with, if I improve this system, what's your throughput? If
Yeah.
that's $100,000, it's a $10,000 project. Right?
I've been avoiding labeling myself as a go high level business specifically, and my husband's got lots of thoughts over there.
I agree
Because
with
the
being
software
flexible.
is changing so much,
Yeah.
but it is one that I would use that I lean heavily on. So what I did with him, now I've built the system in Psycho High Level that when we get a lead, they use a QR code, they fill out the form, they get on the schedule, and then it walks them all the way to payment, right?
So there's nothing wrong with, you can have like different verticals and
Yeah.
tools. Like there's service level businesses that improve CRMs. I mean, the Salesforce vertical created multiple multi-billion-dollar companies that just go into companies and help them implement Salesforce. So there's nothing wrong with choosing a lane.
Yeah.
But there are ways to identify large swaths of customers that use this tool. So instead of like looking for beta customers, maybe just outbound and say, could you see a lift by using this system? And I would challenge you to look at different tools that can help you find those customers.
Okay.
That information is usually available in the URL.
Okay.
Go High Level has a unique URL, and there are tools that can help you identify companies that use this, and then those people that you can outbound to them. So
Okay.
just as a think about it from a service perspective. And
Yeah.
while you're working on it, I'm actually building that for you, so see me afterwards, I'll see if I
Okay.
can help you.
Awesome. And then one of the other cool things about Go High Level
Yeah.
is there's ways to build training modules,
Yeah,
right? And so if you use those training modules, you can create a digital SOP vault, almost like a training, like what you would see at like Wendy's or, you know, a big corporation, to send your people through before they even like hit your floor, to make sure that they have all the things, and you can put
Yeah.
tests in there to make sure they understand what they're doing and what they're watching, to make sure that they're ready to be a part of your team.
highly would look at it, because you got coaching and system integration, that gives you two unique verticals and value props for your customers, so you can take that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, how, outside of the beta clients, how long do you envision engagements lasting for you to,
It's probably gonna be a full year commitment.
okay.
And then if they want to continue from there would be options to continue from there. But I really think it would take, because it took me 4 months to get him really moving, right? And I recreated everything that he was doing. Before I stepped in, he was using Thumbtack, Angela's List, Home Advisor, On the Map, all of these lead sources. And I said, okay, I'll do this on one condition: you fire all of those companies. He was like, it's the scariest thing I ever did in my entire life. You want me to stop paying for leads and expect me to have a business when we're done? What are you doing? But then, as said, by April, we were slammed. And that year, I tripled his revenue by cutting his marketing. And a friend of mine has said that I'm a business strategist when it comes to consulting, because I like to look at all the different pieces. I even said in my coaching call yesterday, almost like a mechanic or a doctor, they look at how all of the pieces work together, not just one like piece. I'm not just looking at your radiator. I'm looking at all of the different pieces of the car and how it works together.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was
Oh,
going.
go ahead.
I would potentially either offer some different packages,
Mm-hmm.
you know, tiers, to where, hey, this is like the scope, either by the number of hours I'm committing to work with you in a month, or whatever that is, to give some optionality, or create some sort of, here's the first 3 months,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this, and if you don't see the value in it, you can walk away. I got paid for my time, we're done. But if you do, then we'll continue that engagement and actually work on all the things that we've identified over these 2
Yeah.
months, and kind of create like a, you know, be able to test the waters without me having, as a business owner, say, all right, I gotta commit to a whole year of working together without any, you
Yeah.
know, experience doing so. So maybe one of those options would help, you know, on the sales process itself, either giving me tiers to choose from, or have some kind of starter package, you know, where I can then extend from there to actually finish the year out.
And I think in my mind, the first step is to do what I've called a half-day consult, to really get an idea of what's going on in the business, to make that plan, and then give it to them, and either they work the plan or they can hire me to work the plan. And once I give that to them, thinking that there would be more than one option on that. But the issue is getting someone who's living in that chaotic world to have the time in their schedule to be able to do that work has been very challenging.
Yeah, and you have to still offer, for you, it helps you know what the scope is. But
Yeah.
it needs to be something for them, like even if they walk away and they don't work with you, it's like, I'm gonna give you like 3 low-hanging fruits that you can go do on your own. If you want me to help you do it, then here's an engagement. But if not, you at least walk away with something. They should pay you for that time if you're gonna spend half a day, all right? Like, pay me, we're gonna sit down, I'll help you identify a few things that you could go do potentially, or then you can hire me and I'll help you actually start doing that. So they still have value versus just a half-day intake form, basically, in person, is a big ask.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you seem to be very enthused about what you do, and that's fantastic, and you want to dive into things. Question is, do you foresee yourself working with more than one client at a time? Because even those 4 months you said you worked with your husband to get his business where it needed to be, I'm sure you didn't just do an hour here, an hour there. It sounds like you were putting more of yourself into it. So even if you're doing $2,500 a month for the year, and you had a client every single month, that's only $30,000. And so I wonder do you see yourself being able to work with more than one client as you're going on your journey to grow?
Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere around 3 or 4 clients, especially to begin with, and then using what I'm doing to then build my own company, right? My mind is once I get a few of the beta clients done, I can really build out my own SOPs and then start figuring out how to put leverage in my own business, how to pull in, VAs or other people on my team and figure out how to get them to do parts of those items for those SOPs. And then I can scale past that 3 to 4 at a time. But I couldn't imagine me taking care of more than 3 or 4 clients at a time at this point. Because it is going to be a lot of time, right? And so my mind is, I think 4, because then I can dedicate 1 day per week per client and then have 1 day to handle any personal stuff that I need to do or work on my business or, whatever that looks like.
10.
10?
Yeah, you could do 10.
Yeah, if you get
10
repeatable
10.
systems.
Yeah,
You
once I
can
get
handle
those
a caseload of 10.
repeatable systems in place, absolutely.
You can handle a caseload of 10.
My question is, you're gonna spend a lot of time, and a lot is relative. It could be a month, it could be 4 months to get these systems up and running. Also, I wanna make a point, when you were saying, Tim was saying about like finding people who are using high level.
Yeah.
I think I hear you that your ideal client is someone that is lost in the chaos before. They don't even know that high level exists. They don't even know what a CRM is. They're just trying to make it work. And they don't know what it even is, right? Because they're just doing the work, they're the
Yeah.
talent, they don't understand how to run a business. So there's that person, and then there's the one that's bought into high level but doesn't know how to use it, which is a lot of the people who sign up for high level.
And I can see both, right? And so my friends have called me to have me come and audit their Go High Level accounts before.
Yes.
They're like, I bought it, it's not working, what's wrong with it? And I'm
Right.
like, because they didn't build it right.
Right, and
You
that's
know?
what my point is that when you get into high level or any other system, what you're building is the system inside the system.
Yeah,
And I can attest to this, it takes a long time to get that system up and running, making sure it's running smooth. But once it is up and running and it's smooth, you don't really need to continue that engagement for them if it's running smoothly. So
Yeah.
there's maybe, to Aaron's point, you can handle 10. I don't think that you could do 10 of these setups at one time.
Yeah.
But you can absolutely have a rotation where you've got 4 where you're deep in the weeds getting them set up while you have 4 that are in maintenance mode. And you just keep adding to that list. And then you've got VAs or whoever to handle any part of that, either the setup part, because that's the most labor intensive part,
Yeah.
or the maintenance piece. You've got it set up, now somebody else can just keep it oiled. Like, keep the wheels moving.
and I feel like we're talking about a lot of Go High Level, but there are some other pieces too. I mentioned, I don't know if y'all know the words of EOS and Integrator and all of those, and that's another piece of how the system I envision comes together and how EOS would play a role. But those smaller businesses, when it comes to EOS, do you know what EOS is, what I'm talking about? It doesn't take as long as a full implementation in a big business. But there's a lot of key pieces of it that really help those businesses. And so you're right, a lot of people don't know. Like when I say EOS, I'm curious, raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about when I say EOS. That's kind of the response that I get, right?
Yeah.
And so they don't understand what that is, and so they don't understand the benefit of putting, that's one of the hurdles. And the same thing with Go High Level. If you're not in that world, you don't understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm just throwing big words at you. And so how to bridge the gap for them to understand these are the things that I'm putting in place and this is what it brings to you.
Well, you're right, we are focused on high level. It is a tool,
Yeah.
like any other tool out there. And just like people say about AI is a tool. If you don't know how to learn, if you don't learn how to use the tool, then you're no better off than you
Yeah.
were before. In fact, you're probably worse, because I know I wouldn't want to live in a house that I tried to build with a hammer that I didn't actually understand how to use, right?
Yeah.
So my point, the greater point, I think, is that you are the business consultant, you're the operations systems consultant. You're gonna come in and you're gonna help a small business small service business understand how to operate their business, from leadership all the way down to the systems involved in sending those invoices and getting those reviews.
Yeah.
And the whole thing in terms of high level can be more or less automated because you've already built it. You can snapshot it out into another one and just roll on, right? So the power and the value in what you're bringing is actually outside of high level. High level is just one of the tools that you're going to implement or suggest implementing. So I see that, and that goes back to, there's a lot of consultants in the room. Maybe it's the 10% rule, maybe there's another option out there, but how does a consultant value themselves? Other than when they look at themselves in the mirror. I mean, what's the answer there? I don't know.
I have one last short thing. So I wrote down some notes. Business is system and delegation. So if you can have those two things, you have an excellent business, because that's what we utilize in the military. And I mean, that system has been proven for over hundreds of years. So it doesn't matter where you take that and apply it, it will work, right? The face of it, the name of it is irrelevant. It's just a matter of having that in place. I was gonna ask a question, but don't answer this yet. I'll come back to it when I finish the statement, is can you use AI to cut your time? I know we just talked about the complexities of it and how it can cost you more, but that will be a question I want to know if you can answer. And the other aspect is, like, we think about the American population, there's 16%, I believe, of the American population that's entrepreneurs. So that equates maybe to about 31 million people. You don't need everybody. This may be a unique term, but I think don't worry about the beta pricing. Figure out what you want and then set that. I mean, there are enough people in the world, specifically here in America, so even if you only get 1% of that population, you're far greater than you probably ever dreamed anyway. So just focus on the outcome. You already understand that you can provide an exchange, right? And then the people pay for the value, whatever that perceived value looks like. And Myron Golden talks about, like, you could take your product and sell it to somebody who can't afford it, and then you're gonna work far harder than if you just took that product and sold it at a high price to people who have the money to pay for it. They're more likely gonna pay you because they want their time. So maybe we shouldn't worry about the low-hanging fruit. Figure out what it is that you desire, what you want, set yourself in position for that, because the numbers show that there are plenty of people that are here in this country alone that need what you can bring. And then, so now coming back to the question is, can you find a way as a systems person to set AI to not do the work for you, but save time in areas that are just administrative tasks, or maybe that's even through filtering or something to that effect?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of digging into AI and have been using AI a lot. I've actually created a whole workshop on AI and have taught about AI. And Go High Level even has a lot of AI that's being embedded into it to make building those workflows easier and easier. I know that they just released a whole bunch of stuff a week or two ago, and I haven't gotten in and really played around with any of that quite yet. But yeah, there's so many different AI tools out there to help with content creation, video editing, you know, all of those things that really help save you time. I haven't directly tied it to what I'm building yet. I've done like, oh, these are the things that other businesses need to know about AI, but not necessarily how do I put that into place in what I'm doing. But I'm sure you can, right? So I've built probably a 3-hour workshop about AI. So I was previously the productivity coach at Keller Williams. And so I was doing a lot of training on things like AI and systems for the real estate agents in our office. Which is why I haven't like tied it directly to what I'm doing now. But that's a good thing to think about and kind of wrap my head around.
Yeah, I think if you can figure out a way to put the AI for miscellaneous tasks, but are necessary,
Yeah.
then you allow yourself to delegate / scale without having this major expense until you start to generate income.
Yeah.
And as you start generating income, then I would say it would be a great idea to put people in place, because now, you know, our income is always a direct reflection of the value we provide to the market. And so by even employing other people, I would imagine through great systems, your business just continues to grow effectively.
Awesome, thank you.
Wow.
like quiet room.
Yeah, I think we're all settling in on, maybe everything that you offered and all the advice that was given. Thank you for taking the step and being in front of the room to share with us. Just as a reminder, we're not meeting next week. I do have two people or just one? Do you want to make your announcement then? Yes.
Yes. Hello, family. I'm Maya from Rooted Vines. If you have not met me, I'm an herbal tea specialist, herbal alchemist. I have an event coming up on December 14th at the Hollingsworth House. For those of you who know Rosio, it's a beautiful historic home in Fayetteville. The event is called Tea and Candlelight. It is an event that I created that is really my passion. During the holidays, there are a lot of people who are feeling alone. There are a lot of people who have lost loved ones, including just losing themselves. And they seem to have to put on this mask to make everyone else feel comfortable and have that holly jolly Christmas feel. But not everybody has that, and they're suffering alone. And so I created an event where you can bring your grief, you can bring your tears, you can bring whatever it is that you're feeling and be around other people where you don't have to voice the holiday spirit, but you can just be. And we're going to have a ceremony for those who have been lost. We're having tea and a light lunch. We have Lee from Art and Healing who's going to come and teach people how to do therapy with art. So if you can't find the words to speak, you can use your hands. So we want to be very creative in the space. All of the money will go to Junebug Foundation. It is a nonprofit who works with people with grief. So they help to pay bills and help people with therapy when you lose someone. Because we know that when you have a great loss, sometimes you can't get out of bed. Sometimes you just can't function at all. And so their whole thing is to help people get through that grieving period and to help them continue to thrive even when they can't. I hope that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But this is a passion of mine. Rooted Vines is all about mental health because I went through a trauma myself that left me suicidal and homicidal for 7 years. So my heart is with people who have lost themselves, lost their loved ones, that just feel like they're in the dark. And so I have some flyers. If you know someone who would really benefit from coming to a space like this, I would love for you to keep them in mind. You can either give them a ticket or you yourself are invited to come as well. It's going to be a beautiful event, and I hope to see some of you there.
Sounds great. Thanks for sharing that. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share? Community events, updates, requests?
I would love to. The businesswomen of Fayette and Coweta every year on Giving Tuesday at Golf Rider has music bingo, and it is so fun. And it benefits Hearts of Teal, which is education for ovarian cancer and services to women who have experienced ovarian cancer. So it's all charity, fully charity, but it is so fun. Like, you've got bingo cards and they're playing decades music and holiday music, and you gotta fill in your little bingo card, and there's margaritas and there's a taco bar, it's all Taco Tuesday. So it's so much fun. I think there's only 14 tickets left, but we really want to fill every seat. So I wish I brought my flyer, totally forgot to, but I know there's a Facebook event set up for businesswomen of Fayette and Coweta music bingo.
Awesome. All right, great. Well, Margaret, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Margaret Coleman, and I work part-time for the Fayette County Public Schools. I work for the mentoring program, so I am out seeking mentors, males and females. I have a bunch of students that I just got referred to me this past week, which is saying something. The holidays are coming, lots of things are going on, kids are struggling, it's the end of the semester. So I really am looking for a lot more mentors to put in my pool of mentors. What we're asking for is people who can come to a school, any Fayette County public school, K through 12, and mentor a student one-on-one for the rest of the school year for about 30 minutes once a week. So it's not a huge commitment. We're not asking you to do anything outside of that. We really just want good, positive adult people to support our students, just be another positive person, adult person in their life. So 30 minutes once a week. If it's not you, maybe you know somebody, or maybe you know some place where I can go and talk about it, because the more we talk about it, the more people are aware, and maybe I can get some more people in my group. So I have business cards. I'm happy to walk around and hand them out. If anybody has any thoughts, feel free to contact me. Email's the best way to reach me because I only work part-time. So anybody? I have some mentors in here. Letitia's one, Jay. I've got Josh is in here. Thank you. And I really appreciate it. Even if it's not for you, you just want to talk about it and learn more information.
Well, while you guys are getting her cards, I'm just gonna say that since we're not meeting next week, happy Thanksgiving. Just know that I'm grateful for all of you, and I can't wait to see you the following week.